Facebook list.
Well,
This is so fun.
good evening, everybody. I'm Minister Sharon Brumfield, and James Jones is here with me this evening for Financial Friday. Dr. Burns will chime in a little later as he can, but we're going to go ahead and get started this evening. If you're joining us tonight, go ahead, like and share. Share this information with somebody else on your timeline. Put it in a text, send it out, put it in Messenger, let people know that Financial Friday is on. And I know James has an amazing lesson for tonight. What are we talking about today, James?
Okay, we're going to overview of what it is to start doing your budget, start doing your planning, putting the numbers in, and what it look like once you start adding in your investments as well as your additional income, and then the overall totals of all of that information.
Okay, so I know when we first got started, you and Dr. Burns talked about budgeting. So you're taking it a little step further with budgeting. So what's going to be the difference that we'll learn tonight from what we learned in the beginning?
Oh, so tonight we're learning how it will look because
Okay.
as much as we talked about it, well, now you have examples of what it looks like once you start your projects. And I use modest numbers, so nothing is too far fetched. Everything is within reason, and then you can see how it looks. For the more advanced person, I have a little bit on the advanced end as well, so they can see how it looks if they was to have like a business that was doing passive income, as well as if they did a traditional second income. So I put all of that inside the formula. I made very clear examples, and I would like to go over all of that with everybody, and so we all can be on the same page.
Well, I'm excited and ready to go. Those who have already tapped into Financial Friday, go ahead and say hello in the chat. We want to know who's joining us tonight. And if you haven't had an opportunity to like and share, do that now. You can see the broadcast on YouTube. We're here on Facebook as well. So let everybody know that Financial Friday is on and we're ready to go, Brother James.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So the biggest thing we would like to talk about is what it looks like to get started. When we first started this, it was, hey guys, this is what a budget should be. This is what a budget may want to look like. This is what you may want to include in your budget. So following that piece, just that beginner piece, we went into there and I said, cool, let's go to 10%, 10%, 40, 20, 10, 5, and 5. And then someone said, well, what is that? I'm like, this is the journey. The journey is to put yourself in a way that is always producing a profit for yourself. And not only did it produce a profit for yourself, it followed. These are not standard and they're not set in stone. If you're creating a new wealth, if you're creating money for yourself, if you're bringing things into alignment and assigning your money properly, you can still have the same effect. The formula that I didn't necessarily come up with, I had a vision, I prayed, and then it all came together. God is always first because God is always the head of my life. Next comes the government because we live in a place called America and we always got to pay taxes, even though we would like to mitigate those taxes, which I am still trying to do. and then we have the 40% that you have to live off of. Following that 40%, you have 20% that you want to invest, not just in anything, but invest 20% of what you're making into either your vision or an actual passive money making item. Like I said in previous iterations, do not depend on SSI, Social Security. Do not depend on these things to happen. Previously to that, I said, someone asked, what about a 401k? And I was very candid when I said, the reason why your retirement age is at 65 is because the average death for males, not just for being black or white or Mexican or Latino or Native American, the average age for males is the low 70s, 72, I believe. So they're already calculating that you're getting 6 to 7 years of what you put in, and that's if you make it that far. So
Okay.
to have a passive income stream is more effective than having a retirement income stream, because your passive income stream starts day one and it grows and grows and grows, versus trying to wait until retirement could be a hindrance to most people. And that's just 20%. We're still talking about a safety net of 10%. And as we talked about, that was if anything was to happen to you, that safety net of 10% is going to come in and make sure that you are secured from or like an emergency fund.
Mm-hmm.
And the problem with that, not the problem with that, but the problem that most people run into is that when you look at your safety net, most people don't have a safety net. They don't have an emergency fund. Right. So when they do get hit with an emergency, like a death in a family or a heavy sickness, or someone who is the breadwinner doesn't work anymore, they don't have any funds available to be able to float until that person does make a recovery. They're not able to float until that person can be buried. So They end up putting themselves in debt. So you always want to have a safety net. And then we have the 5% just to accelerate yourself beyond what you can measure. And when I say that, oftentimes we have credit cards that are outstanding. Instead of paying the minimum balance, which is part of your 40%, you always want to pay an additional amount. That's your accelerant. By paying an accelerant amount, you can, one, lower your overall principal balance faster, and two, you will pay less interest over time. Then the last one is the last 5%. That 5% is just for your sanity. And I know I've done all the research, so I know that it does work. 5% isn't $5. 5% of what you make in could be as high as $200. It could be as low as $10. But you do have money to keep your sanity as you are making these adjustments with your finances.
Right. I'm so glad that we're going over this again. Putting that budget in place has really been helping me. And so hearing it over and over and over again, as well as having the tool to plan it out, is just going to help us get to that next level even faster.
Yeah. And I do got to give a shout out. I'm going to give a shout out to two people. They actually went over the financial planner. They went over it and they texted me back. They told me that some things that was wrong. They told me some things that I could improve on. And that's why the one that I'm presenting now is that improvement, where someone did actually look at the book, the financial planner book. I got in there. Is it in there?
Yeah.
The financial planner book. Yeah, it took me a while to make. So we got with another company, with another organization called We Rebuilding and Uplifting. I got with that nonprofit organization. We was able to put a financial planner together and able to distribute it to some people. On top of that, I want to give just a quick plug. they did a good job, so they put it together, and it now more aligns to what the formula is. On top of that, we had people that actually put the numbers in, and they gave a lot of feedback. And that feedback helps me realign and readjust the formula, not the formula, but the way the numbers are inputted in. So then if you looked at part one, when I first introduced the financial formula, not the financial formula, correction, when I first introduced the first financial plan, and then you look at this one I'm about to present, you will see that there's a lot more slots for people to put in a lot more information.
Okay.
And the reason for that is when I first did it, I was thinking of myself. And just because I'm good with it, it doesn't mean it's good for the majority. And we always want to make things good for the majority. So you have a lot more slots, a lot more stuff is coordinated, and it all overlaps on each other. So if you make a mistake, you can see the mistake, you can fix the mistake, and then you can go back and do it all over again. So
awesome.
It is a fun experience.
Awesome. All right. So we ready to get into the financial planner?
Oh yeah. We got anybody else on?
I haven't seen anyone say hello yet. So yeah, we have a few people on. I'm just not sure who's on yet. But if you're joining us tonight, go in the chat and say hello. Let us know that you're joining us. And as I said earlier, Dr. Burns is going to pop in a little later to join us for this evening for a bit. And so until that time, we're going to go ahead and jump into the financial planner.
Okay. Yes, there we go. We got people on. There we go. Okay. So I want to say hello to all my grinders. This is Rise and Thrive TV with Dr. Anthony D. Burns. He will be in here, but right now we have Minister Sister Brumfield. So she's hosting. I'm co-hosting. Make sure I got. Is it moving? Oh, there we go.
There we go. Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'm at the back, not the not the front. Okay. There we go. Okay. Uh-oh.
All right. So we have a couple people who's chimed in. Minister Simone is on YouTube. Thanks for joining us through YouTube. Deacon Boone is on tonight. Good evening. Good evening, everybody. All right, Brother James, it's on you.
Okay. So if everybody can click, or you can make it as big as you want to, but this is the original, this is the modified planner. So when you go into it, make sure I can say it. There you go. I got it big on my screen so I can talk through it. It just said work, just save. Okay. So it wasn't supposed to save the workbook, just saved. But so the numbers are for God is 10%. If you noticed, originally everything that was given to God was at the top. It now got moved to the bottom, and you have a lot more slots. So if you was to take a regular offering and tithes for $2,252, and your second check was $2,246, that means your tithes is $225.20 and $224.60. Now, I always like to give a little bit more, so it's $25 is another offering, or just a reason to give, and $50 was another offering, and another offering for $25. The funny part is that it is literally blocked, so that is so much fun. But the total for that, the fun thing is that what I just got done doing, I am pulling up now. So the total for that is $549.80. That brings you up to 12.22%. The one for God and Country, I put this in for your different types of insurance. Typically, you have federal tax and you have state tax. So if you make these two paychecks, or if you make about $40,000 a year, you come in with state tax of being about $87. And that's for two paychecks, 87 for one, 92 for the next, 46 for one, and 45 for the next. Give or take. Remember, these are not exact measurements because the government tax code can change. That brings, you also got insurance, which is, you got health, dental, and vision. Health, dental, and vision, they come out of your checks as well. And most people have a retirement of $51 here and $52 here. It comes to $103. When you add the $270, the $358, and the $103 together, you now at $731. That is a 16.25%. And I know that some people was asking me, or I've been asked, why is it more than 10%? Well, that's because the taxes is the 10%, but we often have insurance that we pay out of our jobs, and we have retirement that is taken out of our jobs. So even though it says 10%, you will always be more than 10% because you're not just doing taxes, you're also doing taxes, insurance, and retirement. But even though that's all being taken out of your check, you never want to just say, I'm losing this amount of money, because your retirement is yours. You just got to know how to receive it at the end. Insurance is yours. You just got to know how to utilize it when you have it. So even though it comes in at 16%, you want to be mindful of what you have going on. The next one is the living expense. So that is your orange right here. And the orange, we actually have more slots than what it was previously. Previously, you was given eight different slots. Now you have 21 different slots to put a lot more items in. And I put most of the same or similar slots in there because we go to the grocery store about 2 to 3 times. So now you have 3 different slots for groceries and you have 4 slots for gas. So if you go to the gas station often like I do, you now have 4 ways or 4 times to put gas inside of your formula. If you go to the grocery store, now you have 3 different ways to put groceries or a grocery amount inside your groceries. However, you have additional slots here. You have 2 more slots here, 2 more slots here, and 3 more slots here. So if you want to put in your exercise, like what it costs for a gym membership, you have more ways to input items. And I wanted to make sure that we cover as much as we can to make sure that we are reaching the 40%. Remember, 40% is just a target. It is not to make you or subject you to hit it. It's just a target that once you are at the 40%, you will be more able to facilitate a lot of things that you have going on. Currently, my active income is my tithes and offering as well as my living. That's my active income. I'll talk more about that a little later. Correction, not my active income. This is my active income. These are my active expenses, are the tithes and offering as well as the living expenses. So when it says active income, it's not active income. It is your active expenses because they always can fluctuate. The government will charge you a flat rate, and your active income is your yellow and your orange. Right now, your orange comes in at $46. Correction, at 46%. Even though that's higher than 40%, you have to be mindful that even though it's higher than 40%, 46% is still a good number. Remember, these are all targets that someone is trying to hit. These are not explicit to you must hit 40%. Okay. And the reason why I say that is because these numbers that I'm using is actually, well, most of the numbers was given from somebody who was helping me get all of this stuff together. And these are his numbers or close to some of his numbers. So even though he's at 46%, he's doing well for himself. Mm-hmm. The subtotal for God, country, and just living expenses is now at 74.52%. And when you talk about that, ideally you want to be around 60%, but you must factor in the 16% that's coming from your government taxes, your insurances, and your retirements. So that's what makes it at 16%. So when you factor in those factors, you're at 74.52. It's not bad to be at 74.52.
Right.
What it means is that if you're at 74.52, you have less options in terms of your safety, your acceleration, and your sanity. And I'll talk more about that as we get further down. Now we're looking at, this is actually correct. This is your residual income. After and according to when you get done paying off your bills, for my personal side, you have residual income. This is your residual income. Now, what are you doing with that residual income? You got $600 going to food. I'll show you in the next slide what that goes towards. You have another $260 going towards equipment. I'll show you in the slide after that one what that's going to. Because remember, the blue is your investments. So right now, you're taking about $860 and you're investing it into something that will produce an income. So you're investing in back in yourself 19.12%. Is everybody still with me?
I'm just trying to look at the chart. And where is the 19.2?
Right here.
Okay. All right.
How do I if everybody hit control, is that control how you make it bigger? There we go. Okay. Like if you hit the control P, it makes everything bigger on the screen.
Okay.
Okay. If I have to redo this, I will. It'll be full-fledged screens. I'll make sure I make it bigger next time. So also along with that, you have $100 going to your savings account. Mm-hmm. Remember, we talked about opening up a money market, a CD, savings account. In this case, the person is putting $100 into their savings account. That $100 is only 2.2% that they go into their safety net. Your credit card is just to say credit, you're accelerating about $200. That means for the credit card you have inside of your living expense, you're paying the minimum balance of $25. You're accelerating that by putting $200 additional dollars onto that. Can everybody can everybody see the 200 here?
So if you're not able to see, just put it in the chat, or if you're able to see, so that James can know that we're all still following along.
Yeah, because I'm like,
okay. Yeah, I see yeah, comment. So all right, we can continue.
The 200 here. And then that goes up to your acceleration. So now your acceleration is at 4.45%. So if you was to do the math, if your minimum balance is $25 and you're putting an additional $200 onto that, then you're doing 4 times the minimum balance. Or after paying the minimum balance, you're doing 5 times what the minimum balance is. That will exponentially accelerate you to paying off that credit card. And once you pay off the credit card, if you have another credit card to pay off, then you roll it over and you continue the process so you can completely be out of credit card debt. Okay. And remember, all the interest you pay on credit cards, depending on how you file your taxes, is writable or write-offable. I want to put that out there just in case somebody asks that question. Yes, the interest that you pay on credit cards is tax writable, so you can write it off on your taxes. The last one is just for entertainment.
Wait a minute, say that again, James. I thought I heard what you said, but I want to double check that's what you said.
Okay. So the interest that you pay on your credit cards is tax writable, depending on how you file your taxes. Just the interest you pay. So if you was to pay something and you was to use your credit card to buy that, the interest that you're paying on that is writable because it is a separate expense for for what you are paying it for. But now that's for certain individuals who are in that tax bracket. If you are not in that, do not be like, Brother James told me I can write all this off. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying make sure you're in the right tax area, and then yes, you can write it off. It doesn't apply to everybody, but to those who do apply, utilize what applies to you. Okay. And I'm really big on people utilizing what applies to them, because if we don't, then we lose our ground in that, because credit is really important. Our credit statement should be an accurate statement of how well we keep our finances in order. Some people don't like credit cards and it's to their detriment. Some people overuse credit cards to their detriment. And there is a few people that understand how to use a credit card, and because they know how to use credit cards, they are given more credit than most people. And they can utilize more credit than most people because of the fact that they understand what it is and how to utilize credit.
Got it.
Okay, there are rules to having a good credit, and it's not using it all up and then paying it all back. It's utilizing it correctly over time and paying it
Mhm.
off over time. That's the best way to raise your credit score. I think the preferred method is 30%. In newer models, is 40%. So you want to make sure you keep it less than 40%, and then that way your credit score rises as you use it.
All right. So we have a quick question. How do you find out the interest you paid?
Your credit card company tells you that in a statement. So every time you get a statement, so when you get a Capital One statement, a Bank of America statement, a BMO Harris statement, a Chase statement, when you look at the credit card, it identifies the interest that you pay for that entire year. They tell you that because it's for their benefit as well as yours.
All right.
So yeah, and they tell you they tell you year to date. So when you look at your interest paid, you're not looking at the one per month. You're looking at typically it says YTD, which is year to date, and then you
Mhm.
utilize that at the end of the year in order to know how much interest you paid over the year. Because
All right.
interest is not a payment. It is something that you are paying back. You're paying interest, but you don't know what you don't know. I guess that's the best way to put
Yeah.
it.
That's why these type of settings, they're so important, because now we can find out things that we didn't know before, and now we can take advantage of those different tax write-offs, and looking at the budgeting and all of those things, so that we can be more financially stable.
Yeah. Yeah. I am definitely with financial stability. And the fun part is you can always ask questions. If you don't think something don't sound right, look it up. There's tons of other books out there that people can read, and some that have been written that tells you this is how you do business. And then business is a little bit different than personal. So I wanted to
Mhm.
make sure that even though we're doing personal now, I want to show you how your personal affects your business. So your personal account and your business account in the beginning are linked. And I'll
All
show
right.
you that on the very next slide.
Okay.
So the last one is sanity. I'm really big with sanity. Even though you can see that it's $23 and it's $50. If your sanity is $73 out the whole month, I'm telling you, utilize that sanity. The reason why I got $23 is because when I was looking up Netflix, I think the max benefit for Netflix is $23. So that's why I put $23 down there.
Mhm.
And when I was doing research on a nice dinner, it was some exorbitant prices and it was some really cheap prices. So I got one that was comparable. It was about $50 for dinner. So in a month's time, you got all the Netflix you can watch on all the super HD 4K premiums, and you can go out and enjoy a good meal. So that comes to about $73. And remember, the first half is what you have to pay, which is God, country, and your living. The second half is everything that you can adjust to make sure you're around 100%, which is investments, safety, acceleration, and your sanity. So that's why, even though it's at 101.93%, so it's about 102%. Remember, this person is still making all those adjustments. So he hasn't reached his target goal yet, but he is in the process of doing it. So I just want to show y'all that some people are at 102% and still doing good. And some people didn't even know that they was at 102% until they did it. Because
Right.
some people are nibbling like a little bit less. They just nibbling less. And I can't tell you how hard it would be if somebody's living expense plus God plus country came to $99. If it was 99% up here, there'll be no way you can invest in yourself. There'll be no way you can have an emergency net, accelerate. There'll be no way for sanity. Now remember, he's doing this because he want to pay off his credit cards faster. So he's giving $200 additional. if he wanted to be less, he can always send less money to the credit card company. He can send $150 to the credit card company because this $200 does not affect his living expense. His living expense is still at 46.4%. His acceleration is the reason why he's over, or he can put that money into a savings account, but he doesn't have to accelerate at 4.5%. So I just want to make sure that we understand that even though it appears that he's at 102%, that's what he's shelling out right now. And that's acceptable because of the fact that if you look at his living, it's only at 46.4. So all of this down here, he is just adjusting for the month of January.
Okay. So if we need to make adjustments, we make adjustments in the investment portion, the safety portion, the accelerate portion, and the sanity portion, not the top categories.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. You always want to invest. The biggest thing to invest in is yourself. And when I talked about maybe in episode 3 or 4, I was talking and somebody said, there's no place I can live for the amount that I wish to pay. And I said, you do have to make hard decisions in order to get things done. He's a single guy and his rent is $800 a month. That's his rent. I don't know if it's 2 bedrooms or 1 in like a studio. I don't know how his layout is. I didn't ask a lot, but I do know that he paying about $800 a month in rent. And this is a single guy. So whether it's a 2 bedroom or a single bedroom, he's paying $200 a month. That doesn't affect the additional investment, safety, acceleration, or sanity. It doesn't affect any of that. His living expense, even at that level of $800 a month, his living expense is 46.4%. So we want to make sure. How you doing, doctor?
What's going on? What's going on? Can y'all hear me?
Good.
Listen, I was just popping in. I'm getting ready to board another flight, but I was just where my camera at? There I am. I was just popping in. I was listening at you as I went from one terminal to the other terminal, and that was some great things you're sharing there. And going back to what you said about when it comes to the credit card showing your report card, it also is a report card of your integrity. It's a report card on how you keep your word when you tell people that you're going to pay them at a certain time, or you sign the contract to do that. Then it's also a mark of your integrity as well. And I like what you just said as far as having your sanity, and so if you're at 100%, that you won't be able to really do anything, and making those cuts help you to be keep your sanity. So that's some powerful stuff right there. Now listen, I don't know if I'm too loud for the people around me, but I'm gonna have to get off. And Lady Bird's ain't around me, so she can't tell me if I'm too loud or not. and I got that preacher voice, But listen, this is a good lesson. This is a good lesson tonight. Hey everybody, I'll catch you guys on next Financial Friday. But I'm going to watch in, and we're going to be loading on my next leg on my way to Milwaukee in about 10 minutes. And so I just wanted to pop on and tell everybody hello and stay with it. Keep on grinding, grinders. Yeah, little small adjustments. All right. Anything for me? I'm trying to find my camera here.
No, you good, Pastor. You good.
I didn't appreciate leaving 78-degree weather and coming back and y'all snowing and carrying on. That's not no way to welcome me back. Well, listen,
Right.
get back to your lesson, and that's a good chart. I saw Deacon Boone said that he couldn't see it. I don't know if he's watching it from his computer or his phone, but yeah, awesome lesson. And I see Shannon on with us again. What's up, Shannon? We'll be in Florida in a couple weeks. Okay, I'm just messing with everybody now, right?
Oh, I was like, oh. I gotta set my plan up.
All right. Well, listen, y'all get on back to your lesson. I just want to pop in and say hello to everybody, and I look forward to seeing you all on next week. And I'll still stay tuned in until we get on the plane.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Thanks for
That's
stopping in, Pastor.
That's yours.
Hi, everybody.
Okay, y'all keep on Cadillacing.
All right.
Thanks, Pastor. So hopefully y'all can see. I will bring this up again. I will make more adjustments to it so everyone can see what I am going over. But I do want to reiterate, you do need sanity. So even though it is a low amount, you do have to adjust. Now, the guy I'm talking about, he's a really good, I'm like, he's like a brother to me, but I don't want to put no names out there. So he's really he's doing really good for himself. He's like a brother to me. And I am very big on keeping sanity. You don't know how much you need sanity until you don't have it, until you are stressed out. Then that's when you tell yourself, I don't know how I'm going to make it. Well, you should have had the sandwich. You should have went to McDonald's. Get the burger. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Sometimes it's just easier to eat the burger than lose yourself. Sometimes it's easier to go and get a pedicure than to be angry all day. Sometimes it's just easier to watch a movie and go to sleep with a can of soda than it is to deal with the stresses of all day. Now, I'm not saying drink until you become a rhino and get drunk. I'm talking about have a outlet. Sometimes it's good just to go bowling. Some people go talk with their friends. Some people just have regular dinner dates. Whatever you need to do to keep your sanity, I'm telling you, keep your sanity. So your sanity should never be zero.
Yeah.
You may have
I agree with that.
Yeah. Yes. I can't
Yeah.
push that any more than Pastor Burns already pushed it. And Minister Brunsfield already pushed it too. You got to have sanity. Sanity is the way to keep all of this stuff moving. Even though it's 5%, your sanity is very important to me. It's very important to your family. It's very important to you as a person. Sanity is really, really, really important.
She said you need to find another sanity. But that is so important because we can get so focused on, I got to stay at the 100%. I got to stay at the 100%. But then we take out the thing that's fun or relaxing. And like you said, you know what? Just go get the pedicure. Maybe you can't get the one you always get, the highest level, but you can go and get one. You can go in and get the massage you need. You might not have a 90-minute, you may have a 30-minute, but you can still do something to keep your sanity.
Yeah. And people really need to, it's kind of hard to tell people that because when thanks for stopping and pass. Oh yeah. People don't know like how hard it is because when people are stronghold and they gun hole and they like, yeah, I'm going to hit it. Yeah. Okay, cool. So you reduce everything. And now you went from 80% down to 40%, but you're miserable. like don't make like Pastor Burns said it. I said it. Small steps in the right direction will help you keep your sanity. If you came in and you was like, I'm going to knock off from 80%, I'm going to be at 40% living expenses and no one's going to tell me anything. You don't know how much you're doing to your livelihood. You don't know what you're going to do to your family. You don't know what you're going to do to your own body. Like you're going to go through a drastic change of cutting out half of what you normally live off of. That's a drastic change. And I'm not telling you do it. I'm telling you make the small adjustments. Like right now, when I see this expense, this spreadsheet right here, I'm telling you this is a decent to good spreadsheet. Nothing is wrong with this spreadsheet. Yes, he's at 102%, but look where the 102 is coming off of. He could put less money in his investments and still be underneath. He can put less money in his accelerated. Excuse me. He can accelerate less money into his credit card and he'll still be underneath the 100% rule. If he didn't do anything, Let's say he didn't do investments, he didn't do a safety net, he didn't do acceleration. He'll be clearly at 75%. Now, when you add on those things, because I want you to have a safety net, I want you to have investments. You don't have to accelerate your credit, right? Your credit cards, because you can make the minimum payments. That's not the most effective way to do it, but you can make minimum payments and get yourself out of debt. But if you just look at this spreadsheet and see how this weighs in on your day-to-day, those small adjustments is what you need in order to come out and be successful.
So Pastor said, if you do have to make a move for your sanity, make sure you get back on your grind afterwards.
Yes. Remember, your sanity is not a week off. Your sanity is not 3 days off. Your sanity is an event. I'm finna go get this massage, and I am gonna have myself a good time. When I get done, I'm grinding again. I'm finna go and get this pedicure of my nails. And I say pedicure, and I'm talking to the guys too. Pedicures are not for women. They're not just for women. They're for everybody. So a pedicure can make you feel good. It can clean up whatever's going on, and you can keep yourself moving. Okay. If you got to get a haircut, guess what? Your haircut may cost like $50. I think it costs like $60 now to get a haircut. So if you got to do a $60 haircut, get a haircut helps you keep your sanity. Guess what I want you to do? Don't go the whole month and have a regular old hair and be angry at everybody. Get your sanity. Keep your sanity. Go get a haircut. Go get those things that will help you produce. It's like doing things that you don't want to do, that you don't like doing. Eventually, you're going to burn out. So I don't want you to burn out. I want you to stay strong, keep moving, and be as agile as you can. Grind out all the nonsense, and you'll make it.
Yeah, tell Minister Mark again. He's sitting way in the back. He didn't hear you say pedicures and manicures are for everybody.
Yes, they're for everybody. Okay, I'm telling you, from my doctor lips to my ears, pedicures are for everybody. Pedicures are for everybody. Yeah. Sometimes, yes. So you get a haircut. A haircut now in Illinois is about $50. And then you throw a tip on there, it's like $55. So yes, a haircut could be as high as $60. And I'm talking about the haircut. I'm not talking about the face. That's two different charges. You got the haircut, then you got the groom for the face. Yes, a haircut could be $60. See, there you go. Thank you, Pastor. Thank you. A mani-pedi, I don't quite know what that is, but I know the pedi is a pedicure and the mani is a manicure.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. I like a mani-pedi too. Am I saying it right?
What'd you say?
Am I saying a mani-pedi? Mani-pedi?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like a mani-pedi too. So Mark, get one done first, and you know what I'm saying? Get one done first, and then argue about how good it feels. But so now, since we're moving on, I'm going to show y'all what it looks like after. Okay. So remember, This is just the start. Now we're going to go to the next one. Okay. The next one is that you're taking the bottom. It says $600 for food, and we're putting that into an additional income. Your additional income is called a little bakery called My Little Sweet Shop, where you make cookies and donuts. Now remember, this is fictitious, but if you were to take your food money and you was just to make cookies and donuts, that's all you do. You're at home and you're making cookies and donuts. Your equipment is about $75. That's all the equipment you'll need. Your ingredients is about $62. Materials is $73. Your marketing is $50. Your subtotal is $260. Now, since this is your LLC, we want to make sure that we pay everybody. So we're paying one employee, who is you, $7 at $7.25 an hour. I believe that's minimum wage, but don't quote me on it. So you yourself made $50.75. That's how much you're paying yourself. Over to my right is the cookies and donuts that you make. Some are for $1.50. The cookies are for $1.50. The donuts are for $2. You made a minus amount: 15, 30, 28, 24, 32, 56. So the total number that you sold was 185 treats. These are the totals of that treat. Now, even though the numbers are all accurate, I don't want you to get boggled down in the numbers. I don't want you to get boggled down in the numbers per cookie, like 150 times 15 equals 222. I don't want you to get boggled down in that. I just want you to know how the money flows. So as your additional income, right? Because you're always investing in yourself. Remember, we're investing in ourselves. So this is one aspect of the investment, which is My Little Sweet LLC, where they make cookies. Okay. If they was to do that, they bring in a revenue about $300. The total cost of operations plus people is about $300. And they get an investment. That's what your investment is doing. Remember, your investment is making investments. So the food amount is $600 minus the 310 plus the 333. You have a profit of $622.75. Is everybody tracking on that one? Because we're going to keep moving. Remember, this is just a model of what it costs. Now, we're going to go back and look at your next one. Your next one is equipment for $260. That's right here at the bottom, $260. Everybody sees that? The $260? Okay, we're going to take the $260 and it goes for equipment. This equipment is for your investments. Remember, when we talked about having additional sources of income and we talked about passive income. This produces a passive income. The other one was additional income. This is passive income. So you start off your equipment at $260. You bought 2 properties. Now, if you're not there yet, right? If you're not there yet, don't worry. You will get there, okay? You will get there. So you got 2 properties that produced $800 and $1,200 a month. Your maintenance is $250, $50, $300. You got 1 person working minimum wage to pick up the rent checks. That's $50.75. Okay, it's the same as the LLC, but this person isn't you. This is a passive income producing organization. So after you collect $2,000 in rent, right? Because you got docks and sparkly lights and a docking fee, you add the $260 plus the total cost of $350, and you now make $1,916.25. To make sure I reiterate that, your revenue from your rent collected and your surcharges here come to $2,700. The maintenance, the management fee, which is $250, the maintenance, which is about $50 a month, comes to $300, plus the 1 person who is just picking up your rent checks or making phone calls for you, that comes to $300.50. So your profit would be your total cost minus your revenue plus your starting amount for your equipment. That gives you $1,916.25. So when you take what you originally had and then you put it along with your LLC, which is an additional income, which most of us are entrepreneurs. So you have your LLC that you're doing business under, and now you have your investment property, which is producing an additional source of income. Remember, passive income is income that you are doing little to no effort in the process of it. The reason why your investment is a passive income because you are doing little to any involvement in this. There's 1 person managing or picking up the rent. You are not doing anything. You're not touching anything. You're paying a managemental cost for the person who is doing the small. You're paying the managemental cost for the property management service. You got a little handy, not a little. You have a handyman who is doing small maintenance and the material for that. Then you have the subtotal. You have 2 properties with the small investments that you're putting inside each property. Now I'm going to show you what it looks like and then what it is. Okay. So we're going to go back. This is what it looks like right now without an additional income, without a passive income, you only make $4,498, and that's every month. Now, I caveat this by saying once you go to the Entrepreneurship 101 course and you go through the business building credit builder, did I say that correctly? The business builder.
Business credit.
The building business credit course. Okay, so you go to 1 is how do you structure your business? 2, how do you structure the credit behind your business, which will be tomorrow. So you go to these 2 courses, and now you have a platform for what I'm about to show you. So if you have an LLC and you understand how credit works, and you put those together, and you can either produce additional income or produce a passive income, it now will go from $4,498 to $7,037. And your question may be, how are you doing that? Easy. The Suite LLC income is bringing in $622 additionally. The passive income, which is the property management, is the real estate, that brings in an additional $1,916.25.
All right. So quick question, James.
Yes.
Quick question before we go forward. So if I'm actively engaged in the business, it's income, but if I'm not doing anything for it, it's passive.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
Because it's a time over model. It's a time over model. If you're actively putting, let's say you have a new business, which a lot of people have, right? A new business, and you're putting in 40 hours at your new business. Well, that's not passive.
Mm-hmm.
You are a self-made person. You are considered an entrepreneur, but it is completely an additional income once you start hiring the right people. So now you're at home making phone calls saying, hey, I need you at here to deliver those cookies. I need you there to pick up those cookie orders. Now you're doing little to no work because your time is now yours. That's when it starts being a passive income. If you get really fortunate, now you're just sitting at home making visionary statements of where you want your little sweet shop to go. Then that also becomes passive income because you're not doing anything. It's actually just running by itself.
Got it. Okay.
So the best way to say what is a passive income is if something was to happen to you, do the business die? If the answer is yes, then it's probably not a passive income source. Mm-hmm. If you could be, and I won't say die, let's say if you was injured, right? Let's say I wanted to go out of town for a year, right? And I had another job offer. So if I could take my job and I go somewhere else and I'm doing 40 hours a week outside the city and I don't have access to my business, can my business still run and maintain itself away from me? If the answer is yes, then you now have a passive income product that you are producing. If you go away for a year and your business will crumble once you go away for a year, that's not bad. It's just you have to know that that's an additional income, not a passive income.
Okay. Got it.
And both still work. So the little sweet shop can still produce income. There's nothing wrong with a little sweet shop producing income. As you can see right now, they're producing $622.75. Mm-hmm. The passive income, even though it's producing $1,900 a month, that's not the guaranteed income for across the board. Some people are still owning property and they are the main person running the property. So it's a lot less because they're not a passive income user, even though it's real estate. They're in the additional income side, not the passive income side. So I want to reiterate, both are still credible. You can still make money off both sides. It's just you have to be aware that a passive income means that you're not involved or you're a little bit involved. Like the Little Sweet Shop, My Little Sweet Shop LLC. If you had 2 employees and they wasn't you, and you was involved with the vision, the understanding, and how to make your particular cookies, because you want to be able to make your signature cookies. So you're teaching how to make it. That's little effort on your part. You go in there, you're teaching them how to do it, but the shop itself is being ran without you. So that's how it becomes a passive income.
All right, got it. Thanks.
Okay, and I do want to say, so once we start accumulating this LLC, the LLC start producing income, as well as the passive income of real estate start producing its income. You're now, instead of at $4,400, you're now at $7,000 a month. And now that drops all of your other totals. So what you gave in offering that used to be at, the offering that you gave that used to be at 12% is now at 7%. All your taxes that you gave to the country used to be at 16%. Now they're at 10%. Your living expenses that used to be at 40%, you're now at 30% or 29.43. Your subtotal is still 47.46. Your subtotal went down about 30%. So you went from 74.9 to 47.63. And the reason for that, the fun part about having an additional income source and or having a passive income source is the taxes. If you do it correctly, you are not taxed on passive income at the same rate of active income. Passive income comes in. If it's an LLC, you can mitigate a lot of those taxes through your working. And a lot of those things can be written off because you are your own employee. How do I know? It's very easy. I've done it. So that is fun. But getting back to it, as you manage a business, remember you have to pay yourself. It may be hard. You may not want to, but you want to make sure that everything is allocated properly so someone is getting paid. Because remember, the goal for everyone is to go from being a entrepreneur to being a business owner. And when you're a business owner, you're taking a step back to allow the business to grow without you. So it can be a income producer, which means it's a passive income source. So you can move on to your next biggest, brightest goals.
Okay. So that's good. That's good to know. And that's a step that I need to make is not putting everything back into the business, but making sure that I'm paying myself too. So that's good.
Yeah. When I say pay yourself, I do mean pay yourself. Me in the beginning, right? In the beginning when I didn't know any better, I would try to put as much money as I got back. I tried to nickel and dime everything I had and then put it all back inside the system. It took somebody smarter than me to ask me, why are you doing that? Right? Because the meal we just had was a business meeting. Why don't you write that off? And I was like, what do you mean? It was a business meeting. We can write off that in our taxes. Different conferences that I go to. If you go to a conference, guess what? That conference is writable because it's a conference. It's there to make you a better. Well, for me, it was there to make me a better landlord as well as a better real estate manager and owner. So these conferences that I went to, even though they was advancing a business, they were still tax writable because of the fact that the line that they was in was over the education side. And even though it makes me a better person, because in business, you become a better supervisor. In business, you become a better leader. In business, you will become a better teacher. You may not be the nicest, the angriest, the funnest, the most understandablest, but you become better because in order for your business to grow, you have to be able to tell somebody in a clear way, how do you want your processes done? So even if you think you stutter a lot, if you went to enough business courses, you will understand that you have to. And when I say have to, I do mean have to. You will have to be able to communicate your ideas and thoughts to the next generation so they can carry on without you being there.
Got it.
So that's why education is key. Do we have any questions?
Let me go and look over in the chat.
Okay. So while you do that, I want to tell everybody, remember, passive income is not automatic. So I know I put the numbers up there of just 2 properties that would bring in income. But remember, that's not a guarantee. Some properties are at 650, some properties are at 800, some 3-bedrooms are at 12. And remember, with all of these things, you have maintenance costs, which may be a roof, it may be a water heater, it may be central, it may be many things. So I want you to understand that even though it seems like passive income is the way to go, and I'm promoting passive income, I want you to let you know that it's something that we grow into, not something that happens automatically. Typically, my dad did not give me a silver spoon with $1 million. He didn't give me $10 million. My dad gave me an understanding, and he gave me a will to work. So with the understanding and the will to work, I was able to accomplish passive income models with a host of other people that helped, me work out what I was doing wrong.
Yeah. All right. Pastor Burns says, great lesson. We must try to do better no matter how good you're doing. Yes. We can always get better.
Yes. I am always trying to angle myself towards the 40%. And like I tell people all the time, I don't always hit 40%. It doesn't matter how good you're doing today. You always got to try to do better tomorrow. Some days I do hit 40%, some days I don't. But that doesn't stop me from having my goal to be at 40%. Me putting 20% of my income back inside the company, that doesn't stop me from still enjoying life. It's just these are the goals that I'm hitting, or the goals that I'm setting myself up for. And when I say you set yourself up, that's how you hit it. You got to look at your finances. You got to take in what your finances are, and you got to actually make a conscious effort to hit these income goals. I want to make sure I'm doing this. I want to make sure I'm doing this. I want to make sure I'm doing this. Why? Because I can't live your life, but I can tell you life is a lot more enjoyable when you're not stressed, when you're not looking for how to pay a bill. When you got these things taken care of, life is more enjoyable. It's not that people are special. It's just that it's a lot. You put yourself with a lot more stressors as you deal with a lot more situations. And financially unfortunately, right now, being financially fit or financially stable is a really good way to mitigate some of the frustrations of this world.
I mean, that's very true, James. I remember when we were gearing up for the marriage retreat, and when Pastor was coming on each night or day talking about different things that affect marriage, finances is one of those big things that affects a marriage. And so if we can have financial stability, that would be one less thing that could damage partnerships, damage marriages. And so it's important for us to come on and tap into Financial Friday each Friday, or go back, at least watch the replays so you can stay up to date. And remembering that when we hear things over and over and over again, it helps us to stay on track. So stay connected to Financial Fridays, go back, watch the replays so that you can start applying these things to your life.
Yes. And I just want to reiterate, this is not like, does not chain you down and make sure you're doing this, right? This is, hey guys, here go all the information that I have. This is how you become financially stable. If you're saying, I got all of this and it's all good. Oh, how can I get the PowerPoint? I will send you the PowerPoint or I'll make it available. So I'll give it to Minister Brumfield. I get to Sister Brumfield, like, no, Minister. I'll give it to Minister Brumfield, and then it'll be available for Jericho members, as well as it'll be available for Jericho members. So if you're a Jericho member, sign in and it will be available for you. If you're not a Jericho member, become one. Hit the like and subscribe button. Come down to Jericho. We love to have you. We got a lot of good programs for everybody to make sure we all are not just financially stable, but spiritually stable as well.
Hallelujah. All right. Excellent. Excellent. We have a couple of comments before we go back into the PowerPoint. Pastor says it's about making a conscious effort. Whatever we do, we have to make a conscious effort. We make that decision. Okay, I'm going to make these adjustments. And then we put forth that effort to get it done. And then it's all about financial freedom. It's all about financial freedom.
It is nice. it is nice when you don't have to worry about a whole lot of other stuff that goes on. It is nice. So I'm not trying to tell you that everybody can make it. I'm telling you that you can make it. I'm not trying to tell you that we all gonna get there. I'm telling you, you can get there. So I'm making this really personal because that's how it was presented to me. You can make it. You can do this. You can get there. If you got to be the backbone for your family, you got to be the backbone for your family. It's all about you when it comes to your personal finances. It's your personal finances. So I will make sure that I'm doing my due diligence to get it out to you. You got to do your due diligence to utilize it. And my thing, if it doesn't work, that's okay with me. I just want it to be okay with you, and I want you still to make it. So that's
All right. So for those who would like to have, I have everybody on here. I can connect with you guys afterwards. But Brother James says he's going to make this PowerPoint available to everyone.
Yeah. Okay. Now remember, I'm also going to be bringing I'm making this into a PDF as well. So if they're with Jericho, they can possibly, I'm gonna give it to you as well, so you can get the PowerPoint. But then on top of the PowerPoint, we are making this into a PDF, so that will be a usable program that everybody can utilize for your month-to-month as well as your annual. Because this example, or the first example, was someone who's actually using the program. So I'm making a program so everyone can utilize it. I just need people to tell me, like, hey, this did work, this did not work. And since the person who I'm utilizing some of his information, he was able to tell me, and I was able to make that happen. So this this program will be accessible to Jericho members.
Okay.
So yes, you will be getting the PowerPoint. I will make it bigger and easier to read so everyone can utilize it. On top of that, the actual workbook that I put together, I am going to produce it, and I'm going to give it to Minister Brumfield, and then she'll pass it out collectively to all those who requested.
Okay.
Because remember, it's not about my information. It's about utilizing that information and you becoming the best version, the most stable financial version. Buy a bunch of stuff, have a good time, eat a bunch of food. That is what it's all about. It's about all of us getting together, and at the end of the day, we're all one family. We're all successful. We're all stable, because that helps the community, and that's what I'm about. It's all about the community. It's all about what we do.
Amen.
Thank you, sis.
It's all about doing the work, Pastor Burns.
Yeah, we need to do the work.
All right, Brother James, do we have some things we need to finish before we close out?
Oh no, the next slide is just from my heart to yours, representing the pastor. I want everybody to rise and thrive.
Amen. Do we have any final questions out there about anything that James gave us today? It's been some very good information. I'm excited. I can't wait to get the PDF so that I can start plugging those numbers in and seeing, exactly what's going on and what things I need to make adjustments for. Seeing if there's any questions in the chat. All right, James, I don't see any questions in the chat. Oh, wait, let me see. All right. Some thank yous in the chat. All right. Any final words, James, before we close out?
Yes. Thank you. Without your support coming in, this wouldn't be worth what it is. So everyone give a thumbs up. I'm glad everybody came out on all the multiple platforms. And for those who will re-watch it or give it to somebody else, I pray that everything works out and everyone will be on the same page. And then we'll all have a community of financially stable people.
Yeah. I'm excited because we talked about the six-figure club, getting to those places where we had not been before. And so I'm super excited about all of the testimonies of those who have been diligent in coming and being a part of Financial Friday, those who have been doing the work, those who have made a conscious effort. We know that as we continue in that process, that God's working through us, and we're going to see some changes and some miraculous things happening in our finances. So I'm super excited.
Oh yeah, same here.
All right. Well, Brother James, you want to close us out in prayer?
Oh yeah, will do. Let us bow our heads and close our eyes. God, we thank you for all that you do. We thank you for all that you have done. We thank you for putting us in a situation where we have to hear from you, that we need to hear from you, and that as we leave this place, but never your presence, Father, continue to be influential in our lives, not just financially, but spiritually. Walk with us, guide us, and lead us to where you would like us to be, so we can become an example and a beacon for others. In Jesus' name, amen, amen, and amen.
Amen. Amen. Well, thank you all for coming on to Financial Friday tonight on behalf of Dr. Burns. Thank you so much. We're going to grind. We're going to do the work. We're going to make these principles happen in our lives, and we're going to see our finances grow, and we're going to be the better because we've been connected to this Financial Friday. So you guys be blessed, and we will see you all soon. Good night.
Good night, everybody.